Hey everybody, Sean and Allison here from Spoken Garden. We're here to help you become a better gardener, and today we want to talk to you and highlight deer-resistant plants.
Yeah, but before we get into that, we can't wait to get started. We want to shout out to our sponsor for today's video and thank them. So Crescent Garden, thank you for sponsoring our video. Crescent Garden has some awesome containers, especially those that have the True Drop watering system.
Yeah, the True Drop watering system allows anyone with these containers to plant their plants in it, water them in, and then set them and forget them for 2 weeks up to 6 weeks without watering again.
I know, it's so awesome, especially if you travel a lot or you're just really busy but you want to have beautiful plants this spring and summer. It'd be awesome to, kind of set it and forget it.
And you know what? Make sure to click that link down below because there's 13 different styles to choose from and a whole lot of different colors.
Tons of colors.
So click that link down below in the description and make sure to use the coupon code SPOKEN12 to get 15% off your next purchase.
Thank you, Crescent Garden.
Yep, thank you, Crescent Garden.
Okay, so now let's get on with today's video. We're so excited to get these beautiful plants planted.
Yep, let's show them to you.
Okay, you guys, so most of you know that we just recently moved, or we're in the middle of a move, so we're at our transition house, we're calling it. And we have a lot of deer everywhere. They roam this whole area, so we have to be very careful with the plants we choose. So another thing is our entire garden is 2 hours away from us, further inland in my mom's backyard. So we have very limited plants here. So we're even more excited to get these planted so we have something pretty to look at.
I know, we'll have a little garden out there.
I know, right? Something to tend to as well. We miss it. So, okay, what we have here are some beautiful plants that are all deer resistant. We've got, well, right up front, you're probably checking these out. Look at these gorgeous dianthus.
Awesome.
These are called I Love You.
And these are doubles.
Oh yeah, they are. They're a double dianthus. They're fragrant, which is a really big reason why they're deer resistant. Deer do not like fragrant flowers. So we've got 4 of those. We're going to divide between these 2 containers we have. We'll show you in a minute here. We have these beautiful euphorbia. I'm so excited about these, Sean.
Yep, me too. Beautiful in these containers.
Aren't those gorgeous? These are called Miner's Merlot. They definitely look Merlot.
Yep, they are definitely.
Beautiful red foliage. It looks like they're starting to bloom too, right?
Yep, they're developing those flowers. So these will be a really nice contrast to just show off the carnations and their color of green, and then also this Dusty Miller.
Yeah, that was the last plant. We have this tall, just beautiful Dusty Miller, and you guys have probably seen us plant Dusty Miller if you've been watching some of our previous videos, because we really love using this. It has beautiful foliage. It's just fun to look at. It's so striking. And this is called silver dust.
Yep, it's a very versatile plant. Yeah, so guys, these are beautiful plants. They're super versatile. They are actually, all 3 of these plant species are drought resistant. They have some drought resistance built into them, so that's good. They'll take part sun to full sun. They're gonna do great in the location we're gonna have them here at this beach house. Now here are our urns, our containers we're gonna plant them in, and these are very decorative. They're really nice. So we're gonna put them in this, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna have in a configuration of back, middle, front. And so of course the big tall plant's gonna go in the back here, Dusty Miller. The euphorbia is gonna go to the side, and then we're gonna put 2 carnation kind of up front, and that's how these are gonna roll out.
I really like that.
Yep.
That is pretty. That's striking. It's
now, yeah,
pretty.
put them all together in this urn like this, and you got a good idea how this is going to be, how this is going to look when we get it all planted. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a little tight, but it'll fill in fast. We're going to get that wow factor and that pop really fast.
I know. I love that. Now we're kind of expecting that the deer might nibble on some of this, right?
Yeah. So this is the thing about deer resistance plants. Plants can be deer resistant, right? There's a whole bunch of them. Now, not only will these plants be deer resistant, but there's also like different kinds of lavender and salvia and other plants, and you'll see them on. We'll have a list on the screen here for you to look at to get other ideas for different plants that are deer resistant. But all these plants, the deer don't like them, but they still have to come up and literally nibble on them to taste them. They're taking little bites out of everything. They're taste testing everything, right? So that's how they know if they like a plant or not. So you need to choose plants that can take a lot of nibbles over time, because they need to have this mass, enough mass to still photosynthesize and take that nibbling abuse. So make sure you got big enough plants. We feel that all these plants are big enough that they can take a little bit of that nibbling and that taste testing and still survive in this area with the deer that we have.
Okay, so what else? What do we need to get started here? We've got the 2 urns.
So what we need to get started, this is kind of your basic planting in containers 101 type of deal here. We've got our urns, we've got our plants. We need to make sure that we have enough soil and the right kind of soil in here. We do. This is potting soil. This is older potting soil, probably from last year, I think. It's still good. There's nothing wrong with it structurally. It'll do fine. It's already got some moisture in it. It still drains because it's been raining and there's no standing water in here, so that's good. Our containers have drain holes in them. That's always a good thing too, right? Boy, have you guys ever planted a container and haven't put that drain hole in it because it didn't come with one? Everything's planted, you water it, and it never seems to drain any water out and all your plants die. And it's really hard once you plant in a container to actually put the drain hole in afterwards because you're up underneath it trying to get that hole in there. It's really hard.
And don't feel bad because it happens to everybody. We've done it before.
We've done that. So yeah, so it's a good reminder and a good lesson learned. So yeah, so we've got our soil. I just kind of roughed this up a little bit. I might do it a little bit more. We're going to be using some tools today to break up the soil, get the plants in the ground here, break up some roots, and all those tools, we'll have links down below for those in the description of the video if you want to click on those and check those out. And there they are right there. Yep, so we've got hand pruners, we've got the straight edge snips. These are really cool. And all this is Corona Tools, and our friend over, our buddy over at Corona Tools, Chris Savarese, has let us try all these out in our garden and here, and thank you, Chris, for doing that. And so, yep, we've got our bypass hand pruners, we've got our straight edge snips, we've got what's called a hori-hori knife, and we've got a depth planting. This is a great tool for planting bulbs and a lot of different types of plants if you got to get that correct depth. So, and then here's also, this is a different tool. This is actually a seed. It's a type of widger, and it's a big one, but it's something that Corona makes. And I guess our friend Chris was telling us these are really popular over in the UK. So definitely check the link out on that. And then here's a really cool looking hand trowel. It almost looks kind of wicked with its points and looks kind of sharp, and it's definitely got that graduated, the graduated measurements on there.
That's pretty cool. Look at this too.
Yep.
Look at this little hook right here.
Yeah, that's nice.
Or something.
Yeah, if you need to just kind of pull something, yank something out, or use that to cut on something, maybe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's got an edge on it. That's sharp. So if you need to cut some roots or maybe some string, that'll be good for that. And then here's just a big scoop. If you want to move a lot of soil real fast, this is a nice tool to use.
I've been enjoying that actually.
Yeah, can you see it's been used, guys? That's cool. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this hori-hori knife because this is a really good tool to break up some a little bit older soil and then add soil to it. So I'm going to break up the soil with this, and all I'm going to do is just get in here and just get that nice and fluffy. Work that a little bit. Really like these planters. These are really deep, good roots. So, yep, there we go.
And guys, if you're wondering, some of these plants probably won't be, we'll probably transplant these next season because they're going to grow and be too big for the space.
Yeah, they'll grow out of this pot. They'll grow into each other, and it's not going to be, over time, it won't be great. But for this season, for this at least half this year, maybe even through the full year, they'll do just fine in these pots in this spacing.
I'm excited about these.
So, okay, great.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Those are fluffed up and ready to go.
Nice.
And you said they're already, like, there's moisture in the soil.
Oh, yeah. Yep, there's lots of moisture in this soil. So if you haven't seen it yet, guys, you might have noticed it's a little droopy.
Yeah.
It's a little dry, but it's still okay.
Oops.
We'll get it in this wet soil. It'll perk right back up. We'll water these in. So for these pots, the first plant we want to plant, because we're going to go from the back forward, so we're going to plant in each one of these the Dusty Millers in the back, what we're calling the back, and that's right back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our Dusty Miller, I'm going to break up. If you've never planted plants, taking them out of one pot and put them in another container, what you want to do is just kind of squeeze this down below on the container here, kind of break that up, loosen that up, grab the plant nicely, station it right there, and then just bring it out. And lots of circling roots here, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn this back right side up, and I'm just going to kind of break these up. These aren't really woody roots. They're not really hard to move around or to kind of spread out here, so I'm just going to break this up a little bit.
Now, I know we've had questions before from some of our audience members that they're kind of scared to do that.
Yeah.
Is there any...
And you know, it's a good thing to be scared to do that because, yeah, we want to give the plant the best chance to survive and thrive in our gardens, but at the same time, you don't want your roots circling. You don't want them to look like these did, because if you take this plant out as it is in that pot and just plant it down in here, and you don't break up the roots to let them spread out, those roots are going to basically stay in that shape the rest of its life where you have it planted. The roots might go out a little bit, but they're really, very few are actually going to go out like that. They're going to really stay in that configuration. And on this one, before I broke it up, you could see it was circling around, you know, in different places on the inside from this pot. Those roots are really just going to kind of stay doing that. They're going to stay in that configuration, and it's bad for the plant because it can actually strangle itself. So anyway, well, we can talk about more of that in another video if you want.
I think so. That'd be a great video.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about that specifically, leave them down below or email us at SeanandAllison@spokengarden.com, and we can go into that a little bit more with you, because it can be complicated and it can be weird to do something like this, because the plants, you know, when they're, I always figured when I'm doing this, the plant's going ow, 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 and we don't want them to really do that, but at the same time, we got to get them healthy and make sure those roots spread out. So here we go. So I'm going to get this plant in here. And now while I'm doing this, I've planted a lot of plants in pots. So I just kind of go off old hat. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here and I'm going to show you. Now, right where this plant is, where the soil starts at the crown of this plant, where it was actually in the pot, it's about here. We want to make sure that's the same level that this plant is planted in, soil line wise, in this pot. So when I'm placing this down in here in this pot, I'm making sure that I have in mind where I want that final soil level to be, not only in the pot, but for the plant. Otherwise, it'll be either planted too high or too low, and both of those scenarios can lead to other issues that you just don't want to deal with. You shouldn't and want to deal with them. So we're just going to do this real quick. So here we go.
That could just be planted by itself and I'd be fine.
Yeah, I mean, really,
isn't that beautiful?
Plant it right in the center, done.
It's such an easy, low maintenance plant, but it just highlights and accentuates so many different things.
These are beautiful, easy to care for plants. They'll take a lot of abuse too. If you've seen our other videos from our old garden in our old house, these plants took a lot of abuse from squirrels, from raccoons, and for a little bit from us, because we had a hack attack on, I think, at least one of them, and we transplanted one, and yeah, they're really tough plants. So
cool.
Yeah. So really, okay. Cool. So next up. Oh, and by the way, what we like to do, or I like to do, Allison's getting warmed up to it. Take the tag when you're done and slip it in to the pot and do it in the side and get it below that soil level, so you really can't see it if you don't want to see it, but then you have that reference of what that plant actually is. Can't tell you how many times we've planted stuff, and I planted different things in pots, and you go back out a couple weeks later, a couple months later, and like, what was that again?
I know.
I don't really remember the cultivar and the specific plant that was, and you're just kicking yourself because you're like, I just threw those tags away. Well, you don't throw them away. Put them in the pot.
And you are teaching me to be better at that, because I like, when I come out and take photos, I like having the tag right next to it.
Totally.
I just don't like to see the tag, you know, so it's nice to be able to hide it.
Yep. So bury it.
Can we put it behind the dusty?
We will, but
okay.
I'm going to do that once we're done with the final plantings and we got the soil level right. So yeah, so I'm just putting that aside. Okay, Euphorbia.
Miner's Merlot.
Miner's Merlot. It does remind me of a Merlot.
Isn't that beautiful? We spotted that at our old local nursery, and we just had to have it.
Really cool.
Plus, all of these plants are perennial in our area, so.
They are, yeah. They're all zoned for hardy in this area, which is super cool. So look at those roots. So again, talking about the roots. If I took this plant and I just plopped it down in here, just like that, these roots would pretty much stay in this configuration while they're growing in this pot. In this new container, and they wouldn't grow out. Their ability to take up nutrients and water greatly diminishes because they're just staying in this one area. So all the things that they need, the water and the nutrients, has to be in this area or come to this area, which we have to supply. And so the further the roots, the more the roots aren't in this configuration, the more they spread out, the better chance they're going to have to get more nutrients and water sooner. So, which means they survive better and they establish faster. All good things. Kind of breaking that up a little bit. Tease those roots out. All right. So we're going to the side here. dig that hole up, get that in there. Okay. There we go.
Oh, love that.
Oh yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get that in there. Make sure to tap down the plant's roots around it so it's nice and firm in there. You don't want any air pockets or places for water just to start collecting, because that can lead to other problems. So, all right, guys. So, last but not least, we have two I Love You Dianthus to plant,
those.
and these are so beautiful. Again, look at those.
I know.
Oh my God, gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
And they smell so good.
I always love the foliage of Dianthus as well. It's just spiky. Sometimes it's kind of a bluish green. This is kind of a light. It's got a little bit of blue tint maybe, so that'll look nice with the dusty.
Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, just,
Well, all of them. I mean, yeah.
so again, we're
pretty
breaking that up, pulling it over. Now these roots are a little bit different. They're more fibrous. You can see right there, they're a lot more fibrous, and these are just younger roots, and it's not as root bound as the other two plants have been. So this won't take as much as a shock when we break this up and get this planted. This is kind of fun. Look, there's moss growing in there.
I know. I noticed that.
So if you find that happening and you want to make sure you don't get that into your pot and keep that going, just take your fingers, grab it, pull it out. You're just basically skimming. You'll skim the top of that soil right off the top there from the plant in the pot, and it doesn't hurt. It's not going to hurt the plant because most of its roots are way below here. You just want to get all that moss and the dirt with it off of there, because that dirt is going to also have a few of the spores, and so if you don't get that off, you'll basically be spreading even the spores in that soil into your new pot. You don't want to do that. So there you go. So okay, we're just going to tease these out a little bit. Ooh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Okay.
Now we chose these plants not only because of their deer resistance, but they have similar growing needs. Obviously, they have similar water needs.
Yes.
Similar light needs. They're all part sun to full sun.
Yes.
Where we're going to put them when they're finished, we'll show you. But it's going to get more of a part sun to maybe afternoon full sun. So it'll be good.
Yep. They'll love it there.
They're going to love it. Yeah.
So one more plant to go. Oh, we got some moss. Getting mossy with it.
Yeah, we have a lot of moss in the Pacific Northwest, so
oh yeah, right.
It's kind of a thing here.
Yeah.
You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
Or you just tolerate it.
Yeah. Why hate it? It's a plant.
I know
It's in the plant kingdom.
nice and green.
Yeah, it's green. Yep. The last plant to plant in here. Move some soil around. There we go. Let's get those flowers out that way. There we go. Okay.
Love it.
So now you can see too, guys, in here, if you look inside here, that soil level isn't exactly up where I want it. I need to fill in here. So I'm going to use that little scoop that I showed you before, and we're going to get some soil from that planter and put it over here.
Okay, you guys, that's a wrap. We got the planters planted, and you know what? We will definitely keep you posted and let you know if the deer happen to like graze or come near these at all. We're really curious.
Yeah, we get visited by the deer at least once a day.
We do.
And there's different little groupings that come. So yeah, we'll keep our eyes out on these plants, and yep, we'll get back to you. Yeah, so if you have any comments or questions about what we did here today, go ahead and leave them down below. We love hearing from you. And make sure to subscribe to our channel so you get updates on our latest videos.
Yeah, and that's a wrap, so stay tuned for our next video. And we just want to say shout out and thank you again to Crescent Garden for sponsoring this video.
Yep, thank you, Crescent Garden.
Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.